Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation this evening at 8 p.m. The president is expected to outline government's stance on developments in relation to the country's response to the coronavirus pandemic. His address follows meetings in the recent days between the National Coronavirus Command Council, the NCC, the President's Coordinating Council, the PCC, and the Cabinet. All right, let's get you a quick update then on the President's address to the nation tonight at 8 p.m. We cross to our reporter, Natasha Piri. A very good afternoon to you, Natasha. All right, so what are we expecting to hear from the President this afternoon? It seems, of course, as he's mentioned, he's quite delighted about the arrival of the vaccine. So I imagine that's very high up on the agenda of the things that he wants to speak about this afternoon. But there's also been talk about perhaps there would be an easing of lockdown restrictions. We know a number of sectors have, kind of approached the president. There was a sit out at the union buildings, in fact, by one of the restaurant owner representatives stay in there that were really upset about the fact that these restrictions have impacted their business. We've heard from all sorts of industries, and there is that expectation that perhaps he might make a few concessions. What do you know?
Definitely, Flo. A very good afternoon to you. A very rainy one indeed. We're actually driving to Alexandra Township to actually, engage with that community and perhaps, gauge them on their expectations of the president's family meeting, as it is known right now, at 8 p.m. But indeed, Flo, we've heard a lot of calls, from various sectors, as you've correctly cited, asking the president and the NCC to actually, ease certain, restrictions like the ban of alcohol. And what I can tell you is that there are lots of expectations, Flo, for the president to actually ease from this restricted level 3 to perhaps, a level 2 lockdown. People wanting, the ban of alcohol to be lifted, and so many more other things. But I mean, Flo, you speak to a very pertinent issue, the issue of vaccines, that we've seen our colleagues Usamgele Masego and Meso Fimikwena, who's our foreign news editor, cover just 2 hours ago the arrival of those AstraZeneca COVID vaccines, that 1 million batch. And that arrival, Flo, will actually set the tone for the president's address tonight at 8 p.m. I remember vividly when Mesofi was talking to President Cyril Ramaphosa, he had said that he would actually talk much more extensively on, the vaccine. So what we do know right now is that the president later on will be outlining perhaps the distribution of vaccines. We've heard time and time again the health minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, speaking and saying that the first kind of people that will actually receive the vaccine or get the vaccine are, of course, our heroes, our frontline workers who will be actually getting those vaccines. And hopefully in due time, the president and, of course, the health minister will actually deliberate more, on the distribution. Who else will be getting those vaccines after those healthcare workers. But I mean, lots of expectations from South Africans. People are waiting with bated breath. Will the country go down to a lower lockdown level? I think it remains to be seen. But what we do know, of course, right now, Flo, is that the country has recorded a significant drop in COVID cases, as you know, that we're under the second wave. But I mean, yesterday in the evening, I think the news stats that came in was that there were 4,525 new COVID-19 cases that actually were recorded last night. So that is testament to that, to the fact that those COVID-19 cases are really easing. And one would expect that, government, when deliberating with the National Coronavirus Command Council and other stakeholders, will perhaps move the country to a lower lockdown level. I mean, we know that COVID-19 has not only wreaked havoc amongst the lives of people, but I mean, livelihoods as well. The economy has suffered. So many people have lost their jobs. And hopefully now, through this vaccine, people have been saying that people have found, their savior, so to speak, through this vaccine. And hopefully, Flo, things will actually get better right now. But of course, as I said, we are driving to Alexandra Township to actually gauge, the expectation from the people. Because at the end of the day, Flo, it is the ordinary South Africans that are on the ground that are actually feeling the impact, of COVID-19 and the impact on their livelihoods and, of course, the economy.
Yeah. All right. And I'm assuming, as you have been reporting quite a lot in Alexandra Township, that there would have been some conversations around not just the issue of lockdown and coronavirus, but importantly around the fact that the vaccine has arrived today. And I wonder if there's been, some kind of anticipation from the people of Alexandra and what their views are. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, even on social media, it's very much divided. Some people not really trusting, some people very hesitant, but also a lot of excitement. And I wonder, from the ground, as you've been covering and reporting on Alexandra Township, what's the attitude there? And I suppose you'll also get to gauge today as well, as people do see that these vaccines have indeed arrived.
Well, Flo, mixed reactions, as you'll actually understand that some people are saying, listen, they've never heard of this vaccine before. They don't trust this vaccine and they won't be taking this vaccine at all. Others perhaps are actually, excited that finally a solution, has come in the form of vaccine. And hopefully, this will then rid, the high COVID infections in the country. But indeed, mixed reactions. You also get the sense that, a lot of people are not even ignorant, but there's not enough education around this new vaccine flow. You get misconceptions. You also get, false news being spread about, this COVID-19 vaccine. We've been seeing certain posts on social media, certain videos circulating and making the rounds of misinformation around the COVID vaccine. And people are saying and putting the onus on government to say that really the messaging around the COVID-19 vaccines really needs to be amped up. And, I think there needs to be some sort of education campaign drives around the vaccine, around the impact of the vaccine and the side effects. I mean, just engaging and talking to people also on social media as well. Some people saying that they won't be taking the vaccine because vaccines have, impacts or side effects that healthcare professionals or experts and researchers are not telling the public about. So these are certain things that the Ministry of Health or government as well needs to then package a message of, vaccinations, healthy vaccinations in the country.
Right, Natasha, thank you very much. Drive safely as it rains, as you head to Alexandra Township. We'll be catching up with you, no doubt, later.